Good afternoon or evening. Welcome. Welcome in, everyone. I'm very excited for this stream. It is a little bit of a different stream. For those who don't know, I do a weekly live stream every Tuesday where I basically just go over the Disney news for about 30 minutes. The Disney news that happened over the week. And then I go into about 15 minutes of me doing some goofy Disney quizzes online. And then I do this thing called Disneyland GeoGuessr, where I just play the game GeoGuessr, but with Disneyland as the map set. And yeah, I don't usually stream on Wednesdays. Today's Wednesday. And it's 5 p.m. I usually don't stream at 5 p.m. I usually stream at 7 p.m. But this stream is not... This is not the Treb production live. This is... Let me get this all set up for you guys. This is Disneyland Speedrun Explained, I guess. That's what this stream is going to be. And we'll start with that in just a second, but I just want to kind of explain what the heck I'm doing, just so everyone's on the right page as to like what's going on. I made a video back in July of last year where I rode every ride at Disneyland in one day. It was filmed in May of 2023, released in July of 2023. And in the video, it's a very fast-paced video. The video is like...
Today I'm going to attempt to ride every single ride at Disneyland as fast as humanly possible. This is it.
Like, the retention editing is real, and I'm really proud of the fact that it is like that, but it's there's a lot that I just couldn't really explain with as far as the strategy of like why I got on certain rides at certain times, why I just certain things that I did with my lightning lane strategy, with just the strategy in general that I would have loved to have explained in the video, but I couldn't really do that because, you know, we're making a Mr. Beast retention video on YouTube. And that's what this live stream is going to be. I'm going to explain, basically, we're going to watch through this video together, and we're going to explain what the heck is going on with like my strategy with Disneyland, with Disneyland Speedrun. But I want to... Sorry, hold on. There's like... What is this? Music? Oh, it's just that. Okay. Never mind. That confused me. Okay. I want to be super upfront with you guys, though. This video, or this live stream, is going to be turned into a video that's just going to go up on the channel. I'm going to edit it all well and nice so that it's just on the channel. However, I'm well aware that this webcam that you are looking through right now is not the greatest. I'm very well aware of that. And I found a solution to it, at least as far as the video that this stream will be turned into goes. Right above you guys, right above this camera, there's a GoPro, like right there. And it's recording. And you know what? Hold on. We need to do that because we just got to make sure that the audios link up. But yeah, it's recording in like 4K right now. I'm just going to use that as maybe I could have gotten a better webcam before this. That's very possible, but honestly, this was the solution that just made the most sense to me. So we're just going with that. I think I explained pretty well. I'll also be very upfront. I have notes up right here, just like notes of, I watched through this video like, yesterday, just kind of like trying to gather up my notes just so that like when I'm explaining this, I'm not just like going all over the place. I actually know what the heck I'm explaining or what I'm saying. And my thoughts are all clear as to like, this is why we win on these rides. And I really put myself back into the Dank Yoda, nice to see you in chat. Smart. It is smart. It's a smart solution to this whole thing. And it's it's really yesterday I spent a lot of time really trying to get back into my head like what the heck was going on May 10th 2023 when I filmed this video. Like what exactly was I like my thought process for why I got on certain rides, and where could the speed run have improved had where could the speed run had improved, because the speed run, there's a lot of issues with it, and we're gonna get into like what's wrong with it in just a second. But I think with that we're ready to start. We're ready to go through this whole 22-minute and 22-second video, and just we're gonna start from the top, and we're just gonna watch this whole video. And honestly, I put a lot of love and care into this video, so I'm excited to just watch this. It's a nice little watch party. And also, we're totally going to do this for the California Adventure video when that video releases. April 5th. April 5th is the day when that video comes out, just so you guys know. Okay, anyways, let's begin.
Today I'm gonna attempt to ride every single ride at Disneyland as fast as humanly possible. This is it, first ride of the day. Yes, it's a walk-on. Oh dude, this is perfect. The rest of the park is now opening. I think we could do this in like under 8 hours, under 7 hours. It's temporarily closed. We don't really have a choice though, we get to stay in line. This is just our luck. No!
All right. I'm excited, let's get started.
The timer has officially started.
So already, you may have seen the timer right there, or the time that I put up right there. It said 7:30. 7:30 a.m. We got into the park at 7:30 a.m. And the way we did this is we basically paid for one night at the Pixar Place Hotel. It was the Paradise Pier when we did it, but we stayed one night at the hotel, and it gave us early entry, which is basically you get let into the park 30 minutes before they open it for the rest of the people to go into the park. And in the past, it's Magic Morning. That's usually what it was like, but it was actually a whole. It was in the past. It was called Magic Morning, and it was actually a full hour that they gave you. It wasn't just 30 minutes, but this is, post-COVID Disneyland. This is what we're working with. They give us 30 minutes if you stay at the hotel, so we're going to do that. And my strategy for early entry was kind of crazy. I figured that the best way to do early entry is they give you two lands that are open for early entry. You get Tomorrowland and you get Fantasyland. Tomorrowland, you shouldn't do that land because you can do all those rides with Lightning Lane for the most part. It's not worth doing that land during early entry. The best thing you should do is go to Fantasyland, because Fantasyland has so many small rides that are so close to each other and that don't take that long to get on and off of. You should be knocking out those rides when they're wide open, when there's like literally no one there. And that's exactly what we're about to do. We're heading straight to Peter Pan.
We're heading straight to Peter Pan.
Straight to Peter Pan.
This is it, first ride of the day. We're making it on.
So we're in line. It's 1 minute and 49 seconds in. We're already in line, and as you can kind of see, there's like a bit of a crowd, which you may be like wondering, like, well, what the heck was that about? Like, it looks like there's no one ahead of you right here. Like, how was there a whole crowd formed? And that's because I quite honestly didn't do enough research. Okay, that's not true. What happened was there was a giant group of people that were like kind of next to the castle that they were let into the park at the same time as us, but because they were closer, they got to Peter Pan a little bit earlier. And I did some research. It's apparently Adventures by Disney. It's this like tour guide thing that Disney does sometimes, where if you pay like $5,000, you can do a guided tour with Disneyland, and with it's a bunch of different stuff. I didn't look too close into it. All I know is that on Wednesdays, generally on Wednesdays, they are at Disneyland and they get, full beautiful perks and access to everything. So they got to be a little bit closer to rope drop than us. It was only a little bit upsetting because it meant that we had to wait about 5 minutes for Peter Pan.
The timer has officially started. We're heading straight to Peter Pan. We're making it on with a minute.
We totally could have done this. We totally could have fit in an extra ride here, I think. With the 5 minutes that it took us to get
50 seconds.
It doesn't show it. It doesn't show the timer, but I think it's about 5 minutes at this point. We could end here. You know what? Hang on. Sorry. I just remembered I want to pull this up. Give me just a second. I want to pull this up. It's my speedrun breakdown so we can actually look at the times that we're working with right now. Okay. So yeah, Peter Pan took me about 7 minutes to do. It probably wouldn't have taken that long. It would have taken more like 5 minutes to do, or maybe more like maybe even like 3 minutes to do. Yeah, it would have probably taken more like 3 minutes to do. It's just the fact that there was a giant crowd there that was, you know, trying to get to Peter Pan, because it makes the most sense to go to Peter Pan first. There's every other ride is going to be wide open in Fantasyland. Everyone only wants to go on Peter Pan for whatever reason, and this is true whether it be early entry, whether it be regular rope drop. Everyone's just rushing to Peter Pan. So if you're at the front, you should also try to rush for Peter Pan. If you're not at the front, honestly, just skip it. It's not worth it. But of course, we were at the front. We rushed to it. There was a crowd kind of ahead of us, but we still got on in like a pretty good amount of time. 5 minutes is not bad at all, like ever. But in my eyes for, you know, speed running, this was a little bit annoying because I was like, I didn't expect these people to be here. These people who paid more, but that's okay. It wasn't the absolute end of the world. All it meant was that in my head, I was thinking it's probably not possible to do 6 rides in this amount of time, because I didn't entirely know if 6 rides was possible. It was just something that I was very optimistic on, but I didn't entirely know if it was like totally possible.
In the wise words of Peter Pan.
Come on, everybody.
But now we go on to the ride.
First ride of the day, let's go. Get ready to keep going. We're 6 minutes in. Next ride, Alice in Wonderland. Let's go.
Okay, we're going to Alice in Wonderland next. This may seem like a weird move, and honestly, it is a weird move. I probably should not have done this, but it's whatever. My thought process was that Alice in Wonderland is like the second busiest ride in Fantasyland, so I figured that there would be like a lot of people there that would go there later during early entry. So I was like, we just need to go to that one next because it's like the second busiest. But what I didn't really realize to the fullest extent is that there's no one in line. There's no one in line for any of these rides. I kid you not.
Yes, it's a walk-on.
I was absolutely flabbergasted to see this. There's no one in line there. Literally not a single soul is in line. And when I turned that corner and saw that, I was actually kind of freaking out because I figured maybe there'd be like 5 or 10 people in line. We'd have to wait like a minute or two to get on this. But if we walked on this thing, it took like less than a minute to travel between these two rides to like 7 minutes, 25 seconds is when we stepped out of the exit queue of Peter Pan. 7 minutes and 57 seconds is when we stepped into the entrance queue of Alice in Wonderland, and we got on that ride. It only took us like 5 minutes to go through that ride. Like, it was absolutely insane just how, no, not even 5 minutes. It took us 4 minutes to go through that ride. It was absolutely insane just how I was so excited at this point because this is when I realized, oh my god, it is totally possible to do 6 rides in this amount of time.
Oh, dude, this is perfect. This is actually so perfect. This is exactly what I was hoping for.
Exactly what I was
hoping for. Every ride is a walk-on. We're
I
gonna
was
do
so
Dumbo
excited.
right after this. Then we're gonna do Mr. Toad, and then we're gonna do Snow White, and then we're gonna do Pinocchio. But now we're on Alice in Wonderland, second ride of the day. The Queen, off with their heads.
It's crazy.
Let's
There's
wait in line.
We were probably the only people there who were like, you know, 20-year-olds running around the park. Like, everyone else is like families who are like, oh, let's go on the Dumbo ride, and I'm over here with like a GoPro strapped to my chest running around. It was really funny. But anyways, we're getting on Dumbo now. Dumbo is a really bad ride in the afternoon. You probably are gonna be looking at like a 45-minute wait when you're doing this ride. And the reason for that is because the rotation of it. For certain rides, there's going to be certain rides that the only way to actually get through them is if you like the only way to wait for the ride, I guess, is you have to wait for the ride to do its complete rotation. So for Dumbo, the ride is like the ride spinning around and the people on the ride. If you show up and the ride is still operational, then you have to wait for those people to be done with the ride before you can get on the ride. And basically the best way to like minimize the amount of rotation waits is to get in line right as you see the rotation ending. Right as you see like those Dumbo elephants going down, that's when you get in line, because that's when you're like, okay, I'm not gonna have to wait for a rotation. I can just walk on this one. And I was very aware of this, and in the heat of the moment, I just got in line when it was mid rotation. I think I said something like, we can just get on this one right now. This was still a good move. I'm not like criticizing myself, but I think in the future, if I think it's very possible to do 8 rides during early entry in Fantasyland. And I think the way to do that is to really crack down on this rotation idea that I have, where you are getting in line right as it is ending. So then you get on to, you're not waiting at all, because you don't have to wait at all for like Mr. Toad's Wild Ride or like Alice in Wonderland. There's always going to be a vehicle that shows up that you could just hop in, and you don't have to wait at all. It's these rotation rides that make it a little bit difficult. But anyways, it was still really good that we were getting on this ride, and yeah.
We can get on right now. We're doing really good. This is amazing.
And I was really excited. I think this is like maybe 14 minutes in.
Okay. We're doing Toad next, and it looks like it's a walk-on.
Mr. Toad, we literally walked in line. I think I did the math. This is like the fastest it's ever taken me to actually get through a ride at Disneyland. Like, we're looking at like not even 3 minutes right here. It took 16 minutes, 36 seconds, all the way to 19 minutes, 13 seconds. That's crazy. We didn't wait at all for Mr. Toad's. As you can see, there's no wait here. It was kind of awesome. And like the thing is with these rides, like you would have to wait like 20 minutes each for these rides in the afternoon, at the very least, like 20 minutes each. And we're just walking on them. There's like no one here, and we're just getting on these rides. So it felt really good to do this, and it is by far the most, if you're like, man, I don't want to do these freaking Fantasyland rides, this is how you do it. This is like the most entertaining way to do it, is to just go on them in a short amount of time. I haven't tested out what it's like during like regular rope drop. So like when it's, you know, not early entry. This was the first time that I've actually rope dropped Fantasyland, and it was for early entry rope drop. But I would assume it's a similar vibe if you just go on a day that they don't have early entry, so that there's not already people in there. But anyways, with all that, we're doing great.
That's perfect.
This ride,
The ride ends in hell. I'm not gonna lie, this ride is actually kind of scary right now. Law court, are we guilty? I told you it ends in hell. All right. Snow White is next. Where do we enter?
Snow White.
Here?
Actually, Snow White took a bite of the apple.
Okay.
So Snow White
never mind,
broke
we're not
down on
doing
us, and that was kind of something that I wasn't entirely expecting. But that's okay, because I just went on to the next ride. This was a really good save. I just said I literally said, never mind, we're not doing Snow White, we're doing Pinocchio. Look.
Where do we enter? Is it here?
Actually, Snow White took a bite of the apple.
Okay, never mind. We're not doing Snow White. We're doing Pinocchio.
And my reaction time to that was
Snow
like
White
very
broke down.
quick. The time it took us to step out, it was 19 minutes 13 seconds to get out of Mr. Toad, and then it was 19 minutes 37 seconds to get on Pinocchio's. So this is a very quick decision I made. Obviously, we're speed walking around the entire park. But you know, didn't take that long for me to like figure out like, okay, because I was gonna do Snow White after anyway, so this was just a good save.
That's okay.
I was
We just
gonna do
need to
Pinocchio
replace
after
it with
Snow White.
either the
I don't know if I said
carousel
that right.
or the teacups. 5th ride of the day.
Okay, hold up. We gotta rewind that.
Yep, Snow White broke down. That's okay. We just need to replace it with either the carousel or the teacups.
So basically what I'm saying right now is that like I know that we're still gonna have enough time to do 6 rides, but since one of the rides that I wanted to do was broken down, I was like, okay, we need to have a backup ride that we're gonna do instead. So I said, okay, the carousel or the teacups, those were the only 2 other in the immediate area that were open. And I decided to go with teacups, which in my opinion is not the right move, but we'll get into that in a second.
5th ride of the day. Pleasure Island. Dude, that's my favorite island.
Pleasure Island.
Yeah, okay, Snow White's is still closed. We have 7 minutes to do this.
So we have 7 minutes. It's what? 7:53 right now, and we have 7 minutes to do one more ride. That's, you know, more than enough time to do one more ride.
Teacups, and then we can hit regular rope drop.
Because we want to be able to maximize the fact that there's a whole other area of the park that hasn't opened, that like has no guests in it yet, and we want to basically join into that rope drop and get get another rope drop out of this, basically by paying a lot of money for the hotel. I decided to go with teacups, and in hindsight, I shouldn't have done this. I should have just done the carousel. And we'll get into why when we actually get into the part where I actually ride the carousel. The rotation for the carousel is so much. It seems like it would be a lot faster, but because of the fact that they have to check every single person who gets on the carousel and make sure they're all strapped in, it makes the load on, load off times a lot slower, and it adds on so much more time. Whereas maybe you go on it during early entry and only 5 people are going on it. They only have to check 5 people. That's less load on, load off time. I should have gone on the carousel, but I went on teacups instead. Especially because, and this kind of pissed me off during the day, we passed by the teacups at one point, and there was no one in line for it. This was like later on in the day, maybe like it was like literally afternoon, I swear. I think it was like when we were getting off of Storybook or something. We passed by the teacups, there was no one in line, and I was actually really pissed off about that because I was like, dude, I did that during early entry. But anyways,
All right.
just keeping that in mind now is that you don't really have to worry about doing teacups during something crazy like this.
We'll just hit rope drop, do jungle cruise. Oh my.
So
dude,
in my mind, I was honestly, I was also kind of considering maybe I could sneak in a 7th ride, but then I realized when we got on it, because we still had to wait a little bit for a rotation, that we're not gonna have time. We just need to do rope drop, which was a good
so
move.
fast. Can you chill? I think the ride is stopping. People said I was crazy. They said it couldn't be done. They said 6 rides in 30 minutes.
Now I was genuinely like shocked and impressed about all this because like again, I didn't even know that this was possible. I wasn't even sure if this was possible. And hold up. Sorry, I gotta rewind this because there's one very important thing that I forgot to mention. This is goofy. If you're watching the stream right now, love you guys so much. But hold on, we gotta rewind this.
Teacup.
But sorry, we're going back to basically to talking about teacups for just a second. This is so awkward. One really big thing that I wanted to mention really quickly though is as far as ride trade-offs go, or like this is a concept that I kind of thought of is like you want to think of like what's the trade-off of going on a certain ride versus a different ride. Sure, maybe you could get on you can see that there's no wait for the teacups right now, and you can maybe think we just got to get on teacups right now. But next to teacups, maybe there's the carousel, and there's no wait for that one right now. You should get on the one that is going to take the less amount of time or the most amount of time in the afternoon. Go on that one instead of go on that one when it's like not busy in the morning. And I guess it's I say that just to kind of emphasize like during this run, we did not really think about ride trade-offs as much as we should have, and it kind of caused the run to suffer a little bit. And we'll get into why when we actually get through the video. But that's kind of where we're at with it. Oh my god, we're a minute into this video and we're 22 minutes into the stream. Okay.
We'll just hit rope drop, do jungle cruise. Oh my, dude, your spinning is so fast. Can you chill? I think the ride is stopping. People said I was crazy. They said it couldn't be done. They said 6 rides in 30 minutes, you're crazy. But I just did it. Okay, rope drop is happening right now. The rest of the park is now opening. Okay, whoa, what is going on right now? One of the perks of being a Disney Resort hotel guest is that they'll let you into half of the park 30 minutes early. We're heading straight to the area that wasn't open for anyone so that we can quickly hop on Jungle Cruise and Indiana Jones.
So this is what I was just explaining. We want to maximize the fact that there's like that we have another rope drop that we can go to, and that's why I left Fantasyland. Quite honestly, I don't think I should have left Fantasyland. I think I should have stayed in Fantasyland. There were a couple rides that we could have done that weren't open during early entry that would have been pretty beneficial to have done, but I think my logic here was really solid though, because I was basically saying like we need to get on Jungle Cruise, which is a ride that doesn't have Lightning Lane, can be kind of a bit of a wait later in the afternoon, and then we can use a Lightning Lane for Indiana Jones. It's still morning, so the Lightning Lane won't be like or like, you know, there's not going to be many people using Lightning Lane, so we could basically just walk on Indiana Jones and then from there we'll strategize and whatnot. And I think that it's a really solid plan to basically like just get Adventureland over with during rope drop. I think it was a solid plan. The issue with it though is that it meant that we had to leave Fantasyland. And later when we get back to Fantasyland, it gets pretty crowded, and we'll like not even that long after we leave Fantasyland, like maybe like at 9 o'clock a.m., like an hour after regular rope drop, Fantasyland is like crowded. That's why, in my opinion, we shouldn't have left Fantasyland. I think if I did redo a speed run, I would consider not leaving Fantasyland. I would consider probably just going to Toontown or doing something in that area, because those are the areas that get crowded in the morning. Or at least on this day, that's what happened. But anyways, I think we probably saved like maybe a good 20 minutes doing this with Jungle Cruise. It's just the issue with Jungle Cruise is that it is kind of a long ride. It takes maybe like, I don't know, 10-ish minutes to get through, maybe like more like 8 minutes to get through. And because of that, we like, again, ride trade-offs. Is it better to go on longer rides in the morning or the afternoon? You could just go on them in the afternoon when you already have to wait for other stuff. And I'll get more into that later in the video or later in the stream. But that's certainly something that was going through my head, but I still wanted to do Jungle Cruise.
Before many people get on them. My name is Trevin, and this is Disneyland Speedrun. Guys, Indiana Jones broke down. I just got a notification. I'm so glad that it happened now and not while we were on it.
And then Indiana Jones broke down,
I mean?
and that was kind of insane. Because Indiana Jones always breaks down, but it broke down, and that was kind of annoying. But all it really meant is that we now have a multi-experience pass that we can use on Indiana Jones later, whenever we can basically go on Indiana Jones whenever we want, and that's very important. When we do get to Indiana Jones, I'll explain why that's really important. But yeah, that's basically where we're at.
Lower your head and lower your expectations, everyone.
7th ride of the day. 7th ride.
7 rides in, we're 30 minutes in.
Go up to 4 stories high. At first I think it's 5, but that's another story. Anyway, this is where I like to name the plants. That one over there, that's Kevin. This is the 8th wonder of the world. It's bamboo. Did you know that bamboo?
The skipper was really funny.
That was actually...
The skipper was really funny. He also like found my Instagram clip that I did of this on Instagram Reels, and I thought I was like, what the heck? He like, what a small world we have that he just found it. It just like popped up in his Reels, so that I thought that was pretty.
I think
cool.
the funniest Jungle Cruise I've ever been on. Indy is still closed. Let me just double triple check. Yeah, no, it's still closed.
So it was still closed. If it was open, I probably would have like tried to get on it.
Okay, now we're going this way. We're gonna go on Astro Orbiter.
So
and then...
I already had kind of a pretty predetermined path of what we wanted to do. I knew that we needed to hit Astro Orbiter, and I'm really glad that we
have
did
a lightning lane for Space Mountain. We're gonna do that
because Astro Orbiter has like pretty bad it has pretty bad rotation times, and it can get up to like 45 minutes in the afternoon. So again, really good. It's similar to Dumbo. It's basically like a copy and paste of Dumbo. So really good that we got on this right now. We didn't even have to wait it didn't take us that long to get through Astro Orbiter. It took us like less than 10 minutes. Yeah, we were on and off that thing pretty quickly.
I'm going too fast for Jeffrey. Sorry, Jeffrey, I'm going too fast, aren't I? All things considered, I think we're doing really good right now. We will have done 8 rides in the first hour, which is actually exactly what I was hoping we would do. Okay, so right after this, we can use our lightning lane for Space Mountain, and then book for Roger Rabbit. So it looks like Roger Rabbit is closed right now, but that's...
So I talk about Roger Rabbit just super quickly because there was a predetermined lightning lane path that I knew I wanted to take with my lightning lanes, because just based on the return times, yes, he did find it. It was pretty crazy. He like literally he found it, like it was just he commented on my clip. It was pretty awesome. But anyways, there was a predetermined lightning lane path that I was already wanting to take, and that was Roger Rabbit was the second lightning lane we were going to book. Well, I guess technically the third, because Indiana Jones was the first, and then Space Mountain was the second. Roger Rabbit was the third. And those 3 lightning lanes specifically were the ones that I wanted to get through, because they the return times went out super quickly for them, or they would go out pretty quickly. And if we waited too long to book for them, then we would kind of be like out of luck to even be able to use lightning lane on them. So that's why I wanted to get through those rides super quickly. Waiting for you to waiting for you to speedrun Disneyland Paris. I've never been to Paris. I would probably love going there though. But hey, if this YouTube thing works out, I would love to speedrun Disneyland Paris. But right now, it's been a hot second since I've left California. I'm not gonna lie. Anyways, okay. Yeah, that's why I mentioned Roger Rabbit being closed.
Okay, so while I ride Astro Orbiter, I think
Here's me
now's a better
explaining
time
how
than ever
lightning
to
lanes
explain
work.
how fast passes work at Disneyland. Dude, this thing goes way faster than I remember. So fast passes aren't actually called fast passes anymore. They're called lightning lanes. And if you have Genie Plus, you can book them on your phone. You have to go with whatever hour-long period it gives you. You aren't able to choose what time you want to go on the ride. And you're only allowed to get another lightning lane either after you've used your current lightning lane or if it's been 2 hours since you've booked that lightning lane. So naturally.
So what I explained there, just super quickly, is that like your if you wait 2 hours after you book the lightning lane, you can book another one, but you could do it faster if you just use up the current lightning lane. And so what I'm saying right here
We're
is
trying to lightning lane hop.
I say we're trying to lightning lane hop. I used inspect element on this. The action of using lightning lanes in a quick succession, usually in the morning, faster than 2 hours at a time to avoid the Genie plus 2 hour rule. This is just a term that I made up. It's stupid. But basically what I was trying to get at here is that we're trying to get through all of these rides really quickly by utilizing lightning lane in the morning when the return times are usually instantaneous for some of these popular rides. But quite honestly, this strategy sucks. And I'm going to tell you why right now. This strategy is not the way to go. It sounds very, very nice on paper, but it's not a good strategy to go with because when you get to the afternoon, what are you leaving yourself with? You're not leaving yourself with a whole lot of lightning lane rides, that's for sure. You're leaving yourself with a lot of standby rides that you could have been doing in the morning when there was no one in line for them. So I think lightning lane stacking is a better way to do it. I think my thought process was that I wanted the lightning lanes to I was worried that we wouldn't physically be able to get a lightning lane for every ride if we didn't lightning lane hop a little bit. And maybe that's kind of true, but I think I took it a little bit too far with lightning lane hopping. So it's, you know, really cool concept anyway. Thank you. Yeah, no, it's I love this. It's something that I like before doing this speed run. I had been thinking about it for like months. I was so excited about doing it, and I love that this video exists. And there's going to be another one coming out soon. April 5th is when I'm going to release it. I did it with California Adventure, the second park at Disneyland. But anyways, but yeah, as far as this like lightning lane hopping strategy goes, it was something that I don't think I should have taken as far as I did. I should have done a little bit more stacking instead of hopping, but and also I should have done more single rider. This ride literally has single rider and I didn't use it. Like I could have used single rider in the afternoon for it and probably would have been fine. But anyways, it's okay. We live and we learn. I could totally get a better Disneyland speedrun time, and I probably will sometime soon.
So dumb. I'm gonna book for Roger Rabbit right now. I gotta admit, I think we need to chill out a bit because my stomach is like starting to go in circles. As long as we can average 5 rides per hour for the next 3 hours, and then going into the afternoon, it's like 3 rides per hour. I'm gonna book for Roger Rabbit right now. I gotta admit, I think we need to chill out a bit because my stomach is like starting to go in circles. As long as we can average 5 rides per hour for the next 3 hours, and then going into the afternoon, it's like 3 rides per hour until the end, then we'll get a really good time.
What I said there was like, oh, we gotta average 5 rides per hour for the next 3 hours. I like had this like so ingrained in my brain, like what I wanted to do. I was so like I had done so much math of trying to plot this out. There was so much planning that went behind this, just getting the ride order down. But also the content behind it, because we were going in this, we wanted to make a good video out of it. So there was that aspect too. But anyway.
Ride of the day, let's go.
Okay, child.
Oh, yes, I'm the child. God, I love that ride. Such a rush. Casey Jr., Snow White, Chip and Dale.
So, okay, I just threw out 3 rides. Though we did those in that specific order. This is again where I'm watching this now and I'm like, why the hell did I do that? Like, I walked across the entire park to get to Casey Jr. And I wanted to do Snow White because we couldn't do Snow White during early entry. And then Chippendale, which is Chippendale's Gadget Go Coaster. That's what it was rethemed to. Actually, pretty recently after we filmed this, or before we filmed this. Sorry, but there were specific rides, especially in Fantasyland, that I knew we should probably hit in the morning as opposed to the afternoon because it was going to be really difficult trying to get on them in the afternoon. Those rides, if I can remember right, were like Casey Jr., the Storybook Canal Boats, the Carousel, and like, well, even I think the Carousel was also one that I was like, maybe we can get on this in the morning or the afternoon. And what other? Well, there was also like Finding Nemo. Jungle Cruise was also one that was a little bit iffy, but Jungle Cruise was like one that I knew we were probably going to do in the morning anyways, so I wasn't too freaked out about that one. Winnie the Pooh was one that was a little bit on the it's all these rides that don't have Lightning Lane that are the ones that are problems because it's like you can't skip them. There's no way to skip them. You just have to go in the regular standby for them. And because I was so focused on getting these specific rides done and like just kind of hopping around the park to do certain rides in the morning, it meant that there was a lot of walking time that we had. It took us a bit to walk, from Space Mountain all the way to Casey Jr. And that's one area where I think we really, really messed up. We should not have been doing it like this. I think we should have thrown out the whole Lightning Lane strategy entirely and done more Lightning Lane stacking, and then just been going on smaller rides such as Casey Jr. and Snow White and Chippendale's Gadget Go Coaster. And maybe only going on a few Lightning Lane rides if needed, like later. But I was just, I think, I don't know. I was very, I was very much in tunnel vision at this point, and I was just going off of like, okay, this is what I was planning on doing, so we need to go with this. But you kind of really need to improvise when it comes to this stuff. So
that's what we're doing right now. So we're only speedrunning the rides at Disneyland today, but if you want to see me speedrun California Adventure, smash that like button. If this video gets 3,000 likes, I'll go.
Oh, that's crazy. If this video gets 3,000 likes, we're at 503 likes right now. And the California Adventure video is coming out April 5th. Yeah, no, I don't know what I was thinking here. I was like, yeah, sure, this video can get 3,000 likes, and I totally am not going to hate myself after I post this video and it doesn't get 3,000 likes, and then I can't make my video that I was already planning on making. It's okay. You live and you learn with YouTube. It's whatever. The video is coming out though. California Adventure Speedrun, April 5th. We got like what, 2 more weeks. It's coming out. I'm excited. Just tuning in. How much longer are you going to stream? Probably for a bit because we are 4 minutes into this 22-minute video and we have to get through this whole thing and explain my whole strategy. So, music video parodies, come and stay for the stream. You music video parodies, I know who you are. You're Coast. You did a speedrun. I reacted to your speedrun live on this channel in an earlier stream. So you can kind of maybe if you have some insight as to like what I'm doing here.
Go do it at California Adventure. The reason we're leaving Tomorrowland right now is because most of the rides in Tomorrowland utilize Lightning Lane. And the only ride that's difficult to get a return time for in the afternoon is Space Mountain. So there's no need to be in this land anymore.
So that's totally real and that's totally valid. What I was explaining there with, I was literally just explaining this about how like it's pretty difficult to get a return time for Space Mountain. That's why we wanted to get Space Mountain done with, as well as Roger Rabbit and all the other rides. But like Buzz Lightyear, Autopia, Star Tours, you can get instantaneous return times for those rides in the afternoon. So I was like, screw it. We don't even need to worry about Tomorrowland in the morning. We just need to be doing other stuff. But the only thing that we really had to worry about in Tomorrowland was Astro Orbiter and Space Mountain. But honestly, we don't even need to worry about Space Mountain either. We could just do single rider for it. I just didn't realize that. Or I didn't... I don't know. I don't know why I didn't do single rider. I didn't do a lot of single rider in this one. Single rider is like crazy good. You'll find out in my California Adventure Speedrun video. I discovered that single rider is like crazy good. Anyways.
Instead, we're gonna go to Casey Jr., which can get up to a 40-minute wait in the afternoon and doesn't
Which is
have
true.
lightning
It can
lane.
get up
Look at
to
all
a very
these
long
rides
wait.
that we did earlier that now have long waits. I think
And look at this.
paying that
It's like 9 a.m. right now. There's like
$400 for the
hella
hotel
people
was
here.
definitely
like,
worth
it's
it. Just for
crazy. So
that.
it,
So I
it
brought
got
my friend Jeff
it got very crowded very quickly. But yeah.
for you here with me. He's gonna be helping me out.
What makes you think you could do all 34 rides in one day?
Listen. I'm the certified Disneyland Pro, as you can tell.
That's like a child.
I got the certification, okay? This is official right here. I'm putting this on right now.
I still
And
have that one.
if I do this, then I can be the certified Disneyland Speedrun Pro, and that is a big upgrade. We just got a multi-experience pass. A multi-experience pass is a blank lightning
Okay,
lane
I'll just let myself
pass
explain
that
this.
Disney will give you if you get evacuated off of a ride, or as for our case, if a ride is broken down during your lightning lane return time. You can use this pass any time of the day on whatever ride it allows you to. And what's most important about this pass is that you can use it on rides that don't have lightning lane. So you can basically just skip the
So as of now, you actually can't do that anymore. And I made this discovery. Coast, you helped me make this discovery. Well, you made this discovery really when you were speedrunning Disneyland. They've since patched this glitch, unfortunately. You can barely hear him. Wait, hear who? Wait, is the audio good? Uh-oh, I'm all worried about the audio now. Can you guys hear me well? Dank Yoda, what are you talking about? You can barely hear him. Hold up. Give me just a second. Oh, Jeffrey. Oh, sorry. You're just talking about that, dude. I thought you were talking about something with the stream. Okay. No. Okay, yeah. With Jeffrey, we didn't really give him a good mic. That was my bad. But in the California Adventure Speedrun video, he's got a mic and you can hear him. So he's got a lot more lines in this video. But anyways, okay. Where was I? Sorry. I have like a million tabs open right now. Okay. As far as, wait, I have to turn this back on. Ooh, that would have been so bad if I didn't turn that on. Okay. As far as multi-experience passes go now, you can't use them on rides that don't have lightning lane at Disneyland, but at California Adventure, you can use them on rides that don't have lightning lane. It's weird. I don't know what they're doing, but when I filmed this video, you could use them on rides that don't have lightning lane. So I was hoping for this to happen. I was hoping that we would get a multi-experience pass. So I was really excited when we did get one because, like I said, there's like a handful of rides that I knew we were going to have to do in the afternoon that were going to be really difficult to get through. Finding Nemo was one of them. And I wanted to be able to get through that ride without having to wait a long time. So I already kind of knew that we were going to use this one on Finding Nemo. The more multi-experience passes, though, the better. And there was an opportunity for us to get another multi-experience pass later in this video. We'll talk about that in a second.
The entire line of a ride that doesn't have a line skip. Having acquired this pass, I already knew what I was going to use it on. We can use that on Nemo. Finding Nemo is notorious for long wait times in the afternoon, and it's not worth going on in the morning because it's got like a 15-minute ride duration. That's just way too much valuable morning.
So this is, again, I was talking about this earlier with, there's certain rides that like take a long time. You know, the Disneyland Railroad takes like 30 minutes to actually do a complete rotation of it. Maybe more like 20 minutes. I don't know. It depends. And then like Pirates is like a 15-minute ride. You got like the Mark Twain Riverboat. That's like you're looking at maybe 12, 13 minutes. You shouldn't be going on those rides in the morning, or at least this was my thought process, that you shouldn't be going on these rides in the morning when you can get that on them in the afternoon, when you already are going to have to wait for everything. And I still kind of stand by this, but I think it made the afternoon super, super painful. And when we get to Small World, it'll be, what I kind of realized with this strategy is that all pushing those rides back to the afternoon, all it really does is, increase the ride duration time because of the load on, load off time. And I'll explain what that means when we get to Small World. But anyways.
Time to be spending on one ride. So immediately after getting this pass, I rebooked a lightning lane for Roger Rabbit so we can make sure we still get on that ride and then headed on to Casey Jr. 1 hour, 22 minutes, and 37 seconds. And this is our 10th ride of the day. Casey Jr.'s back. Casey Jr.'s back. We're stuck.
Now,
This is a time loss. It's saying a 5-minute wait for Snow White.
Time loss. That's such a good joke. It's like one of the best jokes I have in this entire video. Sorry, I'm like laughing at my own joke, but like I thought that was really funny. Just that I was like, man, it's a time loss that we have to wait like 2 seconds for the door to open. It's so stupid. But anyways, all right.
Part of me doesn't believe that, but even if it was a 10-minute wait, it would still be fine. I think we could do this in like under 8 hours, under 7 hours. So who knows?
Okay,
Technically,
I was so confident. I was so freaking confident at this point. I was like, dude, we're gonna do this like way faster than I thought. And that wasn't me like playing it up for the camera. I genuinely believe that because in my mind, I'm like, okay, we're getting on these rides that I know would have been really difficult to get on in the afternoon, and we're like flying through them. We're already 11 rides in. The park has only been open for like not even 2 hours. So I was like, we're doing so freaking good. And I think I just figured that this pace would keep up for like the rest of the day. But as we find out, that pace does not keep up for the rest of the day.
12 rides would be considered 1/3 of the way done with the park, and we're on ride number 11, and it's been an hour and 40 minutes. Now it's time to head over to Toontown to do the 2 necessary rides before it gets too busy. So
7
they
hours.
just
Yeah,
recently
no, I
redid
wish.
Toontown, so I'm
freaking
actually
wish.
really excited to see what it looks like. Wow, very vibrant. I love it. Hidden Mickey. Just want to point that out. Hidden Mickey. All right, it's gadget time.
Okay, Gadget Go Coaster is... This ride kind of sucks. I don't know what the heck happened. I don't think it used to be like this before they rethemed it to Chip and Dale's Gadget Go Coaster. Maybe it was always like this, but this ride for some freaking reason is like 45 minutes usually in the afternoon. So this was another one that I was like, we need to do this in the morning. We waited like 20 minutes for this ride. Hold up. We waited like, okay, maybe more like 15 minutes, but it took us like about 20 minutes to get through this ride. And that, like, I felt it when we were waiting in this ride for this line. I was like, we shouldn't be waiting right now. Like, it's morning. We should be going on ride. We have like a million more rides to do today. But I knew that like, this was like, we were too late to this ride is basically what I'm saying. I think this probably should have been one that we had done during Rope Drop. Instead of doing Jungle Cruise, we should have done this. And the reason for that, or at least I figured that the reason that it was a really bad wait was because of the fact that it was still a fairly new ride. Or it was a fairly new retheme because they had just rethemed it to Chip and Dale's Gadget Go Coaster, and everyone was like really hyped about Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway and like what they did with Toontown. So I figured that was the reason why that ride was really popular, as well as as well as Roger Rabbit. That one had return times going out pretty quickly, which confused me because I was like, I don't think it used to be like this. So I figured it was just because of the fact that Toontown was still fairly new, or the new version of Toontown was still fairly new. It had been open for maybe a month at this point, but it still kind of remained constant with this. It's, you know, Gadget Go Coaster is still like 45 minutes. It's averaging about 45 minutes in the afternoon. So you kind of just need to, you need to do this one early, I think. The reason for that is because of the rotations. You can get maybe 16 people every 2-ish minutes through this ride. It's not the greatest. You can see why it doesn't take it, or it takes a while to get through this ride. It's the only way that you can get a speedrun record is if you get a multi-experience pass for Chip and Dale's. Yeah, which you can't even do anymore. Because like they patched the fact that you can't even get a multi-experience pass or use a multi-experience pass on rides that don't have Lightning Lane anymore. So it's, you know, or maybe you can't anymore. So yeah, because they just changed it. Going early is probably the best. Yeah. I think that when I do another speed run, this is going to be like the one that I do during regular Rope Drop. I'm going to do everything in Fantasyland, and then we're going to Rope Drop Chip and Dale's. But that's if I get early entry for that again, because early entry is freaking expensive, dude. You have to pay like $400 for a hotel to do it. So anyways, all right, let's go.
Ride takes about 45 seconds to do. So with like load-ons, it holds 16 people. This might take like 20 minutes, actually. Okay, I need a book for Big Thunder like right now.
When are we gonna go on Matterhorn?
So this is the reason why we're not doing Matterhorn today. It's closed for refurbishment, so.
And also, I think it's worth mentioning that the fact that we even had to film this, like, during the run, that we had to, like, stop in front of Matterhorn and film, it caused a lot of, you know, added on a lot of time. I'm totally joking. We did not film this during the speedrun. I know I'm wearing the same clothes, and it totally looks like I filmed this on the same day as the speedrun. But no, we filmed this the second day, bro. And you can tell because I'm not wearing the little button. Or I think I just didn't put it on. I don't know what happened, but yeah, no, we filmed this. We went a second day just to get footage for like content of the video. We did this with California Adventure too. You know, full disclosure, we still went on every single ride that day. Like I'm not trying to deceive anyone and be like, oh, look, I went the second day and then I got better times for these rides. Like, no, this is the run that we did on that day. But we just wanted to make good content, so we went a second day.
This is the reason why we're not doing Matterhorn today. It's closed for refurbishment, so not much we can do about that. Also, while we're on the topic of rides that I can't ride today, this ride went back to its weekends only schedule just a week before I came here. And since today's Wednesday,
it like a week before we filmed the video, they made this change. I think I had known at that point, but it was still like, you have to be like staring at the attractions page and just waiting for stuff to update, because stuff will update like without that much of a notice. So you kind of
can't ride this ride.
You're crazy.
I am crazy. I'm giving you the full Disneyland experience right now. You're going to get on all of the rides today because of me. So, you know, certified Disneyland Pro, just be happy that you're with me, okay? Hey, listen, I know you did some silly business on teacups, but on this one, we don't need no silly business. Oh my God, dude, this is too fast for me. Here's the thing about the carousel.
To get on this ride. Let me check. I'm just curious for Roger Rabbit. Yeah, it took us like 11 minutes to get through that. Yeah, we did not have to, it did not take that long.
There's 72 horses on that thing, so we can get on that one pretty quickly. I'll admit, I totally underestimated how long it was going to take to make sure that all 72 people were strapped into their horses.
Okay, the carousel. This was a really big mess up. We should have done this one during early entry. This was a super big mess up. I figured that, okay, you've got 72 horses. That's 72 people you can cycle through in one cycle. That's pretty decent. That's definitely more people than the teacups. So that's why I did the teacups instead of the carousel. But what I didn't realize is that, and I really should have remembered this. To add on the load on, load off time is what I call it. It's basically the time that it takes between rotations, you know, like they have to make sure that everyone's secured on the ride and strapped in so no one's like flying off and stuff. Because you have essentially like 17 or 72 different vehicles that people can get on, that's like 72 people that you have to make sure are like strapped into their individual horses. That's going to take a while to make sure, like they're going to be walking around the horse for like 5 minutes figuring that out. Yeah, we should have done teacups at this point, and we should have done carousel during early entry. That was just something that I completely missed the mark on. I thought I was being really clever here because I was like, guys, there are 72 horses, so we can get on this one quickly because we'll get on the rotation quickly. But no, it doesn't matter because it's the freaking load on, load off time that I really screwed up on. I think I even said, like, I was, this was still at least good because I was squeezing this ride in between doing Big Thunder Mountain, because Big Thunder Mountain is the next ride we go on. And I did that because I was waiting for the return time to, like, I was waiting for it to be our return time for Big Thunder Mountain. So that it was still good in that sense, but it was still like it was, I was hoping to do 2 rides in this amount of time. I was hoping to do this and the Main Street Vehicles. And yeah, that didn't happen because it just took so long for us to, let's see how long it took to do the carousel. Yeah, it took like 15 minutes, dude. Like, I was thinking it would maybe take like 5 minutes because the wait time was 5 minutes. So I figured it would probably, if we just get on the rotation, it shouldn't take that long. So I don't know. There's a lot of things that you have to account for with this. It's difficult.
That's on me. We just gotta get this ride going. Let's go.
I was just sitting there. I was like, get the freaking ride going.
We should start slowing down now. Let's go to the next ride now. Is this gonna be done yet? Okay. Now we are looking for the next. I'm gonna do Haunted Mansion. We just gotta stare at the goat when we get to this part.
Goat trick. We did the freaking goat trick.
This is a rush. This is certainly a rush. Our next ride is listed on the Disneyland attractions page as Main Street vehicles, which encompasses a few different methods of transportation on Main Street. But since it's only listed as one attraction on the website, we only need to pick one of them to ride.
So yeah, we did the Main Street vehicles, and I did them in the morning. I probably would have just held off to do them like later into the speed run because I knew that it's usually a walk-on at all times. But we did it at this point because I knew that we were going to start looping around the rest of the park and we were going to kind of go away from that front area. This ride closes at 2:15 p.m. or usually it does. I think they've actually been keeping it open a little bit later recently, but on this day it was going to close at 2:15 p.m. So I wanted to make sure that we got on it before that. So that's why we're going on this. But note to self and note to anyone else who decides to do a Disneyland speedrun, do not freaking go on the horse because look.
I see which one we're doing. The horse.
We went on the horse-drawn carriage because it was the first one that I saw. But for whatever reason, I probably because you're working with a live horse, it took so long to like actually get this freaking ride going. I didn't really show it in the editing. Like I just started with us going, but it took like a good amount of time. I think maybe we can even see it. Yeah, like it took us like 10 minutes to get through this. It should not have taken us 10 minutes. 5 minutes of that was just us like sitting in place waiting. I literally saw like one of the vehicles pull up nearby where we were sitting and then like go away with guests. Like it pulled up and then it pulled away. And I was like, dude, we could have just gone on that one. Like what? You know, it's so just note to self, don't freaking do the horse-drawn carriage if you're doing Main Street vehicles or when you do Main Street vehicles during the run. I'm pretty sure the fire truck is the fastest Main Street vehicle, if I'm not mistaken. That was in the research that I did of trying to figure out the fastest ways to go on these rides. I'm pretty sure the fire truck is the fastest, but do what you will with that information. Anyways.
Now we gotta walk back up Main Street. One of my favorite things about Disneyland is all the different smells there are. We're walking by the Candy Palace right now and it just smells so good. Like sometimes I just wish I could bring these smells home with me. Like, wow, it does smell the same.
Wait.
Today's video is brought to you by the Magic Candle Company.
No way, the Magic Candle Company? You guys. I think now is a great time to mention the fact that this live stream is brought to you by the Magic Candle Company. These are candles that you can find. If you click the first link in the description, you can find some amazing candles that, hold on. Let me light one of these. This one smells like it's confectionery. It smells like candy. It smells like, hold on. I'm trying to light this. Watch me set my entire room on fire. Do you hear that, guys? It crackles. Like this is just what they do. Like, it's crazy. And if you click the first link in the description and use the code SPEEDRUN, you can get 15% off your entire order. These candles will be so much cheaper, and they smell so great. It actually, like, genuinely does smell like you're at Disneyland. You know, I love feeling like I'm in Main Street doing this. They have a bunch of different scents. You know, I got a Haunted Mansion one right here. I got a Orange Grove one right here. So if you want to feel like you're on soaring over California, you can do that. Yeah, I just wanted to. Okay. Anyways, yeah, I'm broke, so it would be very helpful if you guys did that. Anyways, if you don't want to do that, you can also just, you know, super chat or super sticker, whatever you want to do. If not, I totally get it. But you know, it helps support my channel. My content is getting really expensive, as you can tell. Okay. Whew. Oh my God. Anyways, we are now gonna keep going. Hope you enjoyed that ad read. Anyways.
Where you can buy the smells of your favorite locations, such as ride number 17.
So let me explain what the heck happened during Haunted Mansion, because I didn't really show it in the video because it just kind of worked out well to use it as the ad read. When we were in line for Haunted Mansion, they told us over like the speakers that, oh, the ride broke down while we were in line for it. And so I was in the process of, I was like about to go ask a cast member, like, hey, can we get a multi-experience pass for this because we used the lightning lane on it. But then the ride reopened and we just went on the ride. I don't think it really affected our time that much. It was maybe only like a 2-minute time loss. Yeah, you know, about 15 minutes to get through. Maybe, no, it's more like, I can't do quick math. That's like 20 minutes to get through it, which isn't terrible. It's just, it's like, with Haunted Mansion, it's kind of an annoying one because you have to go through like a couple rotations of you have to go through a rotation of, you know, the elevator, and it's just kind of an annoying one to get through. So, you know, that was one part of it. The other part of it is that while we were walking, and I wish I could have gotten a good shot of this on camera so that I could have shown it in the video. While we were walking to do they have the Pirate's Water smell? Yes, they do. And it smells amazing. My dad got it. It actually smells really good. But anyways, while we were walking to Haunted Mansion, we walked past Pirates of the Caribbean. Now, Pirates of the Caribbean is not a ride that I was I wasn't super worried about this ride because I knew that it loads on pretty quickly because it just has crazy good load on times. It's like what I would consider an omni-mover ride, even though it's technically not an omni-mover, but because they have so many boats, it acts as an omni-mover ride. And you can fit so many people in those boats. You know, they're sending people through that ride like crazy. So I wasn't too concerned about that ride. I figured like maybe we wait 10 minutes max for that ride. But the line that I saw for that ride, it went way out. It went like all the way out to almost where Haunted Mansion is, like where the beginning of Haunted Mansion is. What I've learned since is that usually it does this, and it does this it still loads on pretty quickly because, or at least when this video was filmed, it didn't have Lightning Lane. It now has Lightning Lane, which is just a whole different conversation that we can have. But it's because it didn't have Lightning Lane at the time, and because it had really good load on times, there wasn't a lot in the way of like actually getting on that ride. But I was still concerned just seeing that long line, and I was avoiding that ride at all costs at this point. I had just kind of assumed like, all right, we're just pushing Pirates of the Caribbean off to the afternoon. But yeah, just keep that in mind.
Click the first link in the description and use code SPEEDRUN to get 15% off your entire order.
Anyways.
We do this ride, do Splash, you go get food for us, all do canoes, go to Star Wars Land, do the 2 in Star Wars Land, and we just kind of...
So yeah, we're going on Winnie the Pooh now. We're doing it because we're waiting for our return time for Splash Mountain. So this was a good move. We did not wait long for this ride at all.
Guys, come there.
Wake up! Ooh, wake up! Wake up! Ooh.
This is going to be our last time going on Splash Mountain. How does that make you feel? Yeah.
I was kind of thinking that this ride was going to be a lot more crowded this day, but it wasn't really that bad. We were looking at this video was filmed like 20 days before Splash Mountain closed at Disneyland, so I kind of thought that there'd be a lot of people there. But no, it was just like any other day. But we probably could have saved this one for the afternoon, especially because it does have single rider. But it's all right. It kind of just made sense to do this ride at this point because we were in the area. But anyways,
It's all right though, because Tiana's Bayou Adventure actually looks kind of dope. I'm good. I didn't get wet. Let's go.
Hold on. We got to look at that picture. Look at this thing. That is an amazing picture. Just like me, absolutely scared, holding onto my phone for dear life, and then Jeffrey just like looking off in the distance. It was goofy.
I'm good, I didn't get wet. Let's go. So while Jeffrey goes to grab our lunch, I'm gonna do ride number 20 on my own, which is the Davy Crockett canoes.
That was a good move though. I like mobile ordered while we were in line for Splash Mountain. I was like, all right, Jeffrey, go pick it up and just like have the lunch prepared for us. I'm gonna go do this ride.
Gotta put in the work for this one.
And I was expecting this ride to take longer because quite honestly, this ride, the duration time depends on like how fast everyone is in your canoe. But no, it did not. It took us like less than 20 minutes to get through this entire ride. So yeah, it was pretty great. We also got pretty lucky because it was just me going on it, and they were looking for a party of one to like skip the rotation and go on to the current rotation. So that was pretty awesome. But yeah, did not take long.
Jeffrey got us our food. It is lunchtime. We speed ran our lunch in less than 10 minutes and headed to a galaxy far, far away to do the 2 rides in that land.
So would it technically be faster
So,
to...
all right, right here, we're going on Millennium Falcon, which may seem weird because we could have just done Rise of the Resistance. It's closer to us. But the reason we did that is because we're trying to use up a lightning lane so that we can book for another one, which quite honestly, it's afternoon now. I shouldn't be freaking worried about that. I should be worried about just getting the rides done because we're at the point where like I graphed out all of these rides on like a graph, like, oh, their average wait times. It's all like, it's like 8 a.m. You're like down here, 9 a.m. maybe you go up a little, or hold on, let me get a good, it's like 8 a.m. you're like down here, 9 a.m. you're going up maybe a little bit, 10 a.m. a little bit more, and then by like 11 p.m. it's like way up. And then 12 p.m. way up. You like the first 3 hours are so essential. And at this point, I was still operating with the mindset that we should be like lightning lane hopping. I shouldn't have been doing that. Because the return time or the rides that we had left with lightning lane, we don't have to worry about those return times. So I don't know. This whole strategy was very revolving around the fact that we were using lightning lane a lot. And I kind of hate that. I don't know. In the California Adventure Speedrun video, we don't use Lightning Lane as much, and it turned out a lot better. I'll tell you that much. I think it's very easy to get deceived by like, oh, we should just be doing every single Lightning Lane ride right now. But like, you should be saving those for the afternoon, quite honestly. But anyways, that's besides the point. Also with Millennium Falcon, I should have done single rider because as Coast discovered when he did his Disneyland Speedrun, you could do single rider and basically walk on the ride because there's no, you don't have to wait through the pre-show, like the little Hondo pre-show where he like tells you what you got to do. You don't have to wait for that if you do single rider. So we should have just done single rider, but that's besides the point.
Falcon, I mean, no. And also, I wouldn't want to do that to someone.
Yes!
We also were engineers.
Rise of the Resistance and
We got, okay, I don't mean to call out the pilots, but the pilots were pretty freaking bad. I kind of wish that we got pilots because then it would have been a cool, it would have been a cool content. It would have been cool content. Falcon single rider was clutch. Yeah, no, and single rider is clutch in general. Again, watch my California Adventure Speedrun video. It's crazy how long we waited for a certain ride that we use single rider for. Anyways.
Minnie's Runaway Railway are rides that we had to buy lightning lanes for individually since they're very popular attractions. So considering that we had to pay $50 just to get on this one ride specifically, the expectation is that we can just walk on, right? This is probably...
I think it took us like 25 minutes to wait for this ride. Maybe longer. Let me check. Rise of the Resistance was 5:15 to 5:51. Oh, that's so much worse than I remember. Okay. Wow. That's like 40 minutes. That's like maybe like 35 minutes. That's like a long... We had to wait a while for this ride. And especially for having to pay for Lightning Lane for this ride individually, I was kind of annoyed by that. I was like, dude, like... this shouldn't be that big of an issue, but it was. So that was kind of annoying. But it was like this ride and Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway that I wasn't super worried about because the fact that they are individual Lightning Lane rides means that the return times aren't going out super fast because less people are booking for it because you have to pay for it. So that's why we weren't like going to these rides first. But yeah, that's basically just what was going on there. It was just kind of annoying. We got in line for individual lightning lane at like the worst possible time because again, we don't have to worry about a return time for this one. We could just book it whenever and just go on it. We're not contingent on like using up our Genie Plus lightning lanes for this one. I just chose a really bad time to go on this ride. Like right after lunch is not a good time to go on this ride. So, you know, another mess up right there. But anyways,
It's gonna take 25 minutes to get through, realistically.
Listen closely.
I think if we wait any longer for Indiana Jones, it will be a bad idea. So I think we should try to do that one next. This right here was the biggest mistake of the speedrun. So earlier in the day when we went on Jungle Cruise, we got a
Okay. So I already explained this. We got a multi-experience pass for Indiana Jones when it broke down right in the morning. We were planning on doing it in the morning, but we couldn't do it because it broke down. And the fact that we had that multi-experience pass meant that we could use it at any time of the day. We could have used that multi-experience pass on something else, but because of the return times for Indiana Jones, because they were going out so quickly, like the return times were already like 1 p.m. by like 8:30 a.m. So there wasn't really any chance of us getting a lightning lane for this ride. We just had to use that multi-experience pass on that ride, which wasn't a big deal, or it shouldn't have been a big deal. It just meant that we had to pick the right time to go on Indiana Jones. And I decided to go on it at this specific time because I was like, I don't want to have to worry about Indiana Jones later because I know that that ride breaks down and it'll break down for a while. And I don't want it to break down and us have like 2 more rides left and then like we don't get to go on it and we just don't get a chance of going on it. So I was just like, let's just get this freaking ride over with. I should not have done that. That was really stupid of me to do that because as I explained right
pass
here,
for Indiana Jones that we could use at any time of the day. I made the decision just now that we should go on Indy right now because knowing that Indiana Jones breaks down more often than McDonald's ice cream machines, I wanted to avoid the possibility of the ride breaking down later in the afternoon and us never having a chance to ride it. But this was such an awful plan because earlier when we were in line for Millennium Falcon, I decided that after Rise, we would go on the Disneyland Railroad and do a full loop of it since it was only a 10-minute wait for the railroad at the time, which is really freaking good for the Disneyland Railroad.
So okay, as I explained earlier in this stream when I was talking about ride trade-offs, think about the trade-off here. You're looking at a ride that you can go on anytime you want. You could use Lightning Lane on it anytime you want, or you're looking at a ride that right now is a 10-minute wait and is usually like a 30-minute wait, and knowing the data of it, you know that ride is going to become a pretty higher weight later in the day, but right now it's safe to go on. Which one should you go on? Yeah, that's right. You should go on the freaking Disneyland Railroad. You should not be going on Indiana Jones. This was such a stupid move, and I still think about this all the time. If we had not gone on Indiana Jones at this point, we probably could have gotten like a sub 10-hour run. Maybe not sub 10 hour. We could have gotten like a sub 11-hour run. We could have done so much better. And the reason why is that there's a few different reasons. One, because I mean, what's about to happen? The ride freaking broke down, and we couldn't have predicted that. But yes, the ride did break down, and it really screwed us up. And two, we could have done the railroad instead. And when we get to the railroad, you'll see how long it takes us to get through the railroad. It was not pretty. I was very upset when we were on the railroad. It was not fun. And it took a long time just to wait for the railroad. I would say like we waited like 25 minutes to get on the freaking railroad. We could have saved like quite a bit of time if we had just gotten on the railroad at this time instead. And I knew this. I had even considered this when I was like doing a whole, like when I was planning doing this speed run and planning like possible routes that I could take. I knew that the railroad was going to be an issue in the like late afternoon and that it probably would be best to do it in that sweet spot between morning and afternoon where it's like the very beginning of afternoon, so you're not like wasting your time going on the railroad when you could be doing other stuff that's busy, but it's also not so deep into the afternoon that you're like, you know, like having to wait a long time for it. And I should have, I messed up here. This is really bad. Because the third reason why this sucked so bad is because, and I didn't really get a chance to explain this in the video, but because of the fact that Indiana Jones broke down on us, we had a lightning lane booked for Buzz Lightyear. We were going to do that after we went on this ride. But because it broke down and just with the return time that we had, I figured that we probably weren't going to make the return time. So I canceled that and I booked for Autopia instead, thinking that like, okay, I just want to push this return time out so that we can still go on Buzz Lightyear later. And I swear to God, 5 minutes after I made that move of canceling that lightning lane and booking for a different lightning lane, Buzz Lightyear broke down. Which means that if I had kept that lightning lane, we would have gotten another multi-experience pass. And it probably would have saved us like a good 25 minutes. And I still think about this a lot. Like it literally was just this. It was Indiana Jones. Like, yes, we messed up a lot in the morning, but like this was the big part where if I'm looking for like a sub 11-hour run, if I'm looking for a run of like around the 10-hour mark, we could have gotten there if we just didn't go on freaking Indiana Jones at this point. I don't know. I'm frustrated at myself. I could have done better, but you know, that's okay. You live and you learn. Yeah, it's difficult. Indiana Jones is a difficult ride because it checks all of the boxes for being a really bad ride for Disneyland Speedrun. Because one, it breaks down a lot. And two, it has a really bad lightning lane merge point. Like, look at this. This is the lightning lane line right here. Hold on, sorry, my mouse is glitching a little bit. This is the lightning lane line right here. This is the standby line right here. And this is where they merge you. Right here is where they merge the two lines together. You go into the temple
at that specific time.
It's kind of a bad merge point. It's kind of a really bad merge point because you still have to wait quite a bit after this. So you're like it just checks all the boxes for being a really crappy ride to get on and off of, and makes it really annoying for Disneyland Speedrun. But it's a ride. It's a great ride. I love the ride. It's like one of my favorite rides in the park. But it just sucks for speedrunning. But anyways,
I do not want to jinx
I'll just let this chaos play.
But I swear to God, if the ride breaks down on us, I'm going to cry. Oh no!
Of course,
something's going on. Oh. We don't really have a choice though. We need to stay in line.
That was the other part that was so frustrating about this that I knew was that they weren't going to give us a multi-experience pass because we had already merged with standby. So I knew that like there's no way to really prove that like we used a lightning lane for this. And they don't usually give out multi-experience passes for people who are like waiting in line for a ride and then it breaks down. It's usually like if you get evacuated off of it or if you have a lightning lane booked for that return time. That's the only two times that they really give you a multi-experience pass. So I knew like at this point I was like, we literally just need to wait here and just wait for this freaking ride to reopen, because if we don't, then we're wasting a multi-experience pass and who knows how long we'll have to wait for Indiana Jones later in the day. So that's kind of what I realized.
Yeah, we wasted a multi-experience pass, and the return times are already too long in advance. He said that
there was no chance of getting another light up and running
in a second. So we're just gonna pray that that's soon.
And we waited 5 minutes just waiting, just like waiting around. That's why it took us like 51 minutes to get through that ride. So frustrating. So annoying.
It's open.
Let's go. And then we have this cool editing.
I officially hate Indiana Jones. It is my least favorite ride of all time. With 11 more rides to do,
crazy.
We headed back to Tomorrowland to finish what we started during the peak of the afternoon. The absolute worst time to be at Disneyland. There's like a...
So this is when it was really sinking in that I was like, oh crap, things are getting really bad right now. Because we went on Autopia, and honestly, it didn't even take that long to get through Autopia. But it was painful to get through because look at this crap right here. You can see it on screen. This lane is wide open. There's no one here. But then, of course, the lane that I'm in has a crazy pileup of cars. Like, what the hell is this? I was so annoyed at that. I think there was some operational difficulties going on with this car. I don't know.
Traffic jam.
But it was really pissing me off.
I don't know what their deal is, but it's causing a traffic jam. This is not going well at all. We are stuck waiting for Indiana Jones for like 40 minutes. We tried to make it up by going on this ride, and it's like the person in front of us just decides, no, actually, my car is just
because every other lane was going by super fast. And honestly, it didn't really make that big of a difference because you still have to wait in this crazy traffic jam at the end of the ride anyways. So it didn't really, I don't really think it caused that big of a difference, but it was just annoying because I was just like, I want to get through this ride so that we can go on the next ride. And we had to freaking wait for it. Yeah, Autopia. No one likes Autopia. No one likes Autopia. It sucks. And as I'm
like,
about
that
to say in
wasn't
the
even
video,
fun. I'm upset now. I'm just genuinely upset. This is supposed to be a speed run. Honestly, Disneyland, can you please, I know you want to so badly, tear this entire ride down, put Frozen Land here. I don't even care anymore.
put anything there, Disney. Put anything there. I don't care what it is. Just put anything other than Autopia, please. Oh my god.
We need to go on Storybook right now. It's only 15 minutes.
Okay. I just made the fatal mistake right there. I said it's only 15 minutes. We need to go on Storybook. That is a fatal mistake. Do not fall for this trick. If you see a low wait time, because usually Storybook at this time is maybe like 30 minutes long. It's usually like a 30-minute wait. If you see a ride that has like a low wait time and you are like, let me go chase after it because I want to get in line while it's a low wait, and you're not literally like right next to it, don't do it. Because everyone else has already done it, and now the line's like a long wait. So unless you're literally like right next to the ride, that's when you should be making that crazy move. You shouldn't be doing it you shouldn't be doing it when you're like, we weren't like even super far from Storybook, but it still takes a bit to walk over there. And it's a lot of, I'm not the first one to discover this. There's been like a lot of people, I'm pretty sure like Fresh Baked has talked about this in his videos. Like, if you see like a 45-minute wait for Rise of the Resistance and you're in Tomorrowland, do not go all the way over to Rise of the Resistance and get in line for it. There's no point in doing that. It's going to be like a 70-minute wait by the time you get there because everyone else who's closer to you has already reacted to that wait time and has gotten in line for it. So it's, it's all right. It's fine.
Have 10 more rides left. If we can get on Storybook like pretty quickly, then I'll at least feel a little bit better. When we got on the ride, it took us like 25 minutes. If being behind schedule were a sport, we were being awarded the first place trophy for it. Being just under 8 hours into the speedrun, we still had 9 more rides to do. I was hoping to be done around 9 or 10 hours.
I forgot I put this in the video. Months prior to the speedrun, I planned out possible routes on a whiteboard. This is real. I literally was just like, I was quite literally so obsessed with this that I like drew out possible speedrun routes on a whiteboard. Look at this. Final time 9 hours, 36 minutes, 30 seconds. I wish it was that fast. But oh my god, that was not the case. I'm pretty sure I remember when I routed this one, I had said something like, this is literally a perfect route. I don't think there's any possible way we could do this any faster. Or any faster. So this is like, what do they call it in the speedrun world? Like a TAS, a tool-assisted speedrun. Is that what it stands for? It's like, if you had like someone, like a robot do this and try to do it as fast as possible, this is what they would get. They would get 9 hours, 30 seconds. But I don't know if that's true or not. That's just, anyways.
But that was most definitely not even a possibility now. We still have Pirates, Nemo, Small World, the Mark Twain Riverboat, and the Disneyland Railroad, which all take at least 15 minutes to ride each.
I saved all of the long rides for the afternoon, and I did that intentionally because I didn't want to do them in the freaking morning. But it was kind of painful knowing that, because I was like, okay, we only got 9 more rides. We've already done like 26 rides, or I don't, which one, we were at ride number 25. We've done 25 rides so far. 9 rides should be like nothing, but it was because of the fact that it was all the long rides that it was just like, oh my god, we have to get through the freaking Small World and then go on the Mark Twain Riverboat, it was, you know, when we get to Small World, I'll explain more about like why maybe this strategy might not be the best way, but also it might also just be the only way to do it. I don't know. It's weird.
But you know what? I can at least appreciate Jeffrey for trying to keep
also, you can kind of see this just in the footage that I have. People are lined up for the freaking parade. Like they're watching the parade go by. We chose the worst time to like walk between the lands. That was just me being stupid. But,
15 minutes to ride each. But you know what? I can at least appreciate Jeffrey for trying to keep the energy high as we were getting on ride number 26.
You know what? Whoever has less points has to buy the other something at the end.
I mean, yeah, I guess we could do like a challenge. Who can get the most points on this ride? That'll make this a little bit more fun.
This was mostly filmed on the second day, by the way. Full disclosure. But we still did this ride during the run, obviously.
What do you want? You want a droid? Yeah. Those things cost
You really
like
cannot hear
$100.
Jeffrey. Okay, we do something similar to this in the California Adventure video, and it's so much better because you can actually hear Jeffrey. Okay, it's whatever. With these two rides, they didn't take that long. Buzz Lightyear and Star Tours, you're looking at like 15 minutes each to get through them. That's not that bad, especially for the afternoon. And especially with something like Star Tours.
Fine, you know, I don't care.
Like, Star Tours takes a bit to get through. So it was actually really good that we got on these rides and off of them pretty quickly. We used Lightning Lane, obviously. But even just like the load on, load off time for them was not that bad.
If we could just get through
So I
the
was
rest of
feeling
these
a
rides,
little
I
bit
don't
better.
even care. So as I said goodbye to Buzz Lightyear and my bank account, knowing what I'll have to purchase later, we used our Lightning Lane across the street at Star Tours, and I'm not gonna lie, I really was not having it. I wasn't even the Rebel Spy, that was lame. But now is finally the time to use the multi-experience pass that we got earlier from Roger Rabbit on none other than Finding Nemo's Submarine Voyage. Based on the hit 2003 film Finding Nemo, you can expect delights on this ride, such as waiting 10 minutes to be boarded on the submarine after it's arrived.
That was just bad RNG. Terrible RNG. I'm sorry. I gotta say it. It was terrible luck that we used a multi-experience pass for that ride and we still had to wait like 10 minutes for it. It just kind of, I was 2 minutes behind on the stream. Oops. Oh no, you're fine. You forgot to account for Autopia drivers. Oh yeah. Yeah, Autopia drivers pretty bad. No, but this was really annoying because like it was kind of a similar situation to like Rise of the Resistance where I was like, dude, I should be getting on this ride quickly right now. I'm using the Lightning Lane, but I'm having to wait 10 minutes for this, and it's honestly just because the submarines are just really bad with their load on, load off times. And it, like, I don't know. It was just annoying getting through this ride. We were so tired. Like, even just watching this, I'm like, it's draining me just thinking about it. Because, like, I know Jeffrey was not doing good either. I don't know if you can really see
cramped
it in
the
video.
tiniest space imaginable with 30 other people.
Yeah, we're cramped into this place. They got us. I'm at least glad that they did get us through this specific submarine because we were like the last two people to get on this submarine. But it meant that Jeffrey had to sit on the seat that was like on the stairs kind of to the submarine, like up to where you would get off the ride. And yeah, we were not doing great. It was very cramped, very claustrophobic, very not fun. We were not doing good here. We were very energy drained and just hungry and tired, and that's why we got dinner after this.
At least you'll get to see Nemo in the game
even though it was
under
still
the
kind
water.
of early.
The kids will love it. In fact, they'll love this ride so much that they'll feel the need to scream about how much they love this ride throughout the entire duration of it. In this claustrophobic, thin-aired, slow-moving submarine that is literally underwater, there is no escaping this thing.
Yeah, there is no escaping that.
I've been having a lot
And that's why we got lunch.
of fun and all, but what is
Sorry,
the point?
dinner.
We've done 20 rides and we got 6 left to go.
What do you mean? Like what? What's the point?
Why do you need to do all in one day?
Ever since I was a kid,
This is proof right here that I've wanted to do this ever since I was a kid. Because look at me, I'm just holding a freaking map out here, This is me. I don't know how old I am in this picture, but like I've always been this kid who's just like, I want to do every ride at Disneyland. But I just didn't know if it was possible. But hey, it's possible, and I did it in this video.
Disneyland has been like my favorite place in the world, and I just feel like I want to show people that like even with all the complicatedness of post-pandemic Disneyland, you can still do every single ride in one day if you just understand how to do it. I can make people's vacations better. Sometimes I just wonder, like, I can't call myself the certified Disneyland pro if I don't do this every ride in one day.
Well, that's unnecessary. No one else is crazy enough to do this as you are. I think that shows you are the Disneyland pro.
How nice of Jeffrey.
Okay.
I mean,
well, thanks.
there are other people who are crazy enough to do it. But when you're doing one of these challenges, you're not really thinking about other people who are doing it. You're just thinking about like, holy crap. The average person at Disneyland right now, like the average guest that you like look at when you're going on the rides and stuff, they're maybe going to get on like 8 rides that day. Maybe. If they got a family, you're looking at maybe like 5 rides. We're doing the whole park. Like it's kind of crazy to think about that when you're there. So I don't know. And when we get to the end, even though I was a little bit upset at the fact that we didn't do it as fast as I wanted to do it, I still really did feel that sense of accomplishment by the end where I was like, holy crap, we did literally every single ride in this freaking park. Like that's kind of amazing. But anyways.
Jeffrey and I had been through the thick and thin of everything today, and it felt really nice to hear him approve of my title, even if things weren't
I love that he got
entirely
this shot
going
where
my
he was
way.
just like, I was just completely, hold on, I'm sorry, I need to show this. I was just so, this was us on Jungle Cruise. I was
nice
just
to
like
hear him
focused
approve
on
of
it,
my title.
and he like tapped my shoulder. I was like, what?
Even
what do you
if
want?
things weren't entirely
And then I was
going
like,
my
oh,
way.
you got the camera out. It was so dumb. But anyways.
But do you still want to do the last ride? Like, we only have 6 rides left. Do you still want to do them?
we only have 6
Might as
rides
well
left.
finish this.
Yeah, we're this far in. We might as well. I'm not going to lie. It's starting to turn into a bit of a pain. We've been here for 9 hours and 29 minutes. The plan is simple.
9 hours,
we head up to the
29 minutes in.
monorail, do a full loop, then we go to Small World, then we finally get to do Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway for the first time ever, then hop on the train and do a full loop around the park, and then finally head back to the left side of the park to do the final 2 rides that we need to do, Pirates and the Mark Twain Riverboat. But
So that was the mock-up plan that I had just kind of figured out as like, this is the best way to do it. Because when we were eating dinner, I was like, okay, we only got like 6 more rides. We just got to get through these freaking rides and call it a day. Like, it shouldn't be that hard, right? We just got to do these in a sequential order. So that was the plan that I came up with. Seems like a foolproof plan, right? Well, yeah, it should have been, but things happen.
we have Runaway Railway to
we're
look
gonna get
forward
to
to.
those
We
things
still
in
have
just a
not
second.
gone on that one. Okay, well,
But
here's
anyways,
the
monorail, it didn't even really take that long to get on the monorail.
5 more rides. Okay.
This was
Small
already
World
one that I was planning on doing in the afternoon anyways, because I knew that there's just not really much of a wait for this one.
and Runaway
So
Railway.
it was fine.
Being able to eat dinner helped regain a lot of my energy,
Which
but
is true.
I'm not gonna lie, it
we
was
felt so much better after eating dinner, like so much better. It was crazy. We were so dead after finding Nemo. We both just kind of wanted to die, but
really hard to keep spirits high after all these hours. I'm so salty. It's Indiana Jones's fault. Not entirely, but like mostly Indiana Jones' fault. And since I was at that point where every little thing was annoying me, it did not help that Small World was our next ride.
okay, just editor's note. I wish I could have used the Small World song, but I had to go with this because Disney would have copyright claimed me if I went with the Small World song. So, you know, it's whatever. I was going insane.
The boats are clogged.
Absolutely
We're
insane.
like getting out of the tunnel, and it's just clogged.
This right here, this is what I've been talking about. The fact that we waited so long for this to do this ride meant that there's a lot of people on this ride, and it's gonna take a little bit longer to cycle the boats through, which just inadvertently increases the ride duration time because the load on, load off time is longer. Small World is not a ride that should take that long to get through because it's like it's very much an omni-mover. It's a lot like Pirates. The only difference is that this one has Lightning Lane and the return times are like instantaneous. That's why it felt like a no-brainer to like be like, okay, we're saving this one for like very last or like near the very end of the run. But it was just the fact that there was just a lot of people there. The day we went wasn't really a good day, quite honestly. And it was just it really makes me reconsider, like, is it better to do these rides when you can just walk on them, because then you know that you aren't gonna have to worry about the just the ride duration getting any longer, because there's not gonna be a pileup of boats. But I don't think that's entirely true. I think it's sorry, let me just put this back. I think it still makes a lot of sense to save some of these rides for the afternoon. Just maybe not all of them, because then you're suffering in the afternoon like we were. Because like we really did save like the absolute worst rides to do for the afternoon.
They don't want me to get a good run. They really don't. I swear, the only thing keeping us motivated right now is Runaway Railway.
Okay, let me set the scene for you guys. It's May 10th, 2023. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway opens like 4 months earlier. I had not seen a YouTube video of the ride. I wanted to keep myself completely blind to like what to expect for the ride, because I knew that it was going to be pretty awesome, and I knew that the next time I was going to go on it was when I did the speedrun video, and I just genuinely wanted to keep that as like a surprise. So this was like the one ride that I was genuinely just super excited to do, especially at a point like this where we had just gone on Small World, we had gone on freaking Finding Nemo, we had gone on the monorail. Like, we're going on rides that we're just going on them just to check it off a list. Like, we're not excited to go on these rides at all. But now we're going on the new ride, the ride that we haven't gone on at all. I was so excited to go on this one. I was genuinely just like, finally, we can do a ride that like we're like, I'm just happy and excited to go on this. Like, if we had not been going on every ride in one day, we probably would have done this one first, because it was the one I was most excited for.
Unlike
and then
the
this
last
happens.
5 or 6 rides, I'm actually excited for this ride. Are you joking? It's temporarily closed. No! This was my breaking point with the speedrun. I had been waiting all day to do this brand new ride, and it was closed the moment we got there. We had to suffer through.
If there was any time where I was genuinely considering like quitting the speedrun, like forfeiting, it was this time, because it genuinely really pissed me off. I didn't show it too much. I was trying to laugh it off, but I was genuinely like, dude, are you freaking kidding me? Like, of course, with our luck, it's going to break down on us when, like, I was just genuinely excited to go on it. And yeah. So, with that, though, I decided that instead we were going to go on the railroad, just the regular Disneyland railroad, because we still had to do that. It was the closest one to us. There's stations at every... or not every land. There's like 4 different stations. One of them's Toontown. We're just going to go on the railroad, do a full loop of it, because you have to do a full loop of the railroad as part of my speedrun rules. So I was just like, we were going to do the railroad after Runaway Railway anyways. So let's just go on the railroad now. And hopefully Mickey and Minnie's will be open by the time we get back to the Toontown Railroad. And
Small World. We were like, it's okay, we're gonna do Runaway Railway next, that'll be fun. Nope, it's closed. Yeah, that looks like a full queue.
And yeah, full queue. Again,
what other...
more of a reason why we should not have gone on Indiana Jones when we went on it. We should have gone on the railroad, and then we wouldn't have had to wait through this crazy queue, and we could have just... We wouldn't have waited through a broken down Indiana Jones. So
choice do we have?
Runaway Railway isn't working, so we have to go on the regular railway.
All right, now we're gonna sit on that thing for 30 minutes.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us on the Disneyland Railroad.
As we were on the train with only 3 more rides to go, we found out some very concerning information. Oh my God, you're joking. So on top of Runaway Railway still not being open, we just found out that Pirates is closed.
Okay, we have 3 rides left. We have the railroad. We're on the railroad. Okay. We have 3 rides after that. We have Runaway Railway, we have Pirates, and we have the Mark Twain Riverboat. And Runaway Railway, it's broken down right now. It's still closed. It hadn't reopened at that point. And now Pirates just broke down. Like, Pirates. Tell me, when have you ever seen Pirates of the Caribbean break down? When have you ever seen that happen? That usually never happens. It's never in my life have I seen Pirates of the Caribbean break down. It made no sense to me. I was like, why the hell is Pirates saying it's temporarily closed? That makes no freaking sense. And I was like, of course it would be a ride that we still have to freaking do, because now I knew like we only have one choice to do after this ride. If neither of these rides reopen before we get off of this ride, the only choice we have to do is the Mark Twain Riverboat, because it's literally the only ride that is open that we still have left to do. So, yeah.
2 rides. 2 of the 3 last rides that we need to do are closed right now. I mean, all we can really do is just go to Mark Twain after this. I just want everyone to know, a lot of YouTubers, they're probably gonna fake this, but like, we're on ride 31.
And I said that because I was genuinely so like frustrated at just everything, and I was like, man, if I was a YouTuber who was just doing this for clout, I would have just faked this, because we were so tired. We were so ready to be done. But I genuinely just wanted to, I was trying to prove something to myself. I wanted to get through every freaking ride that day. So I was like, no, we're not done until we actually get through all these rides. So,
and 2 of the last 3 rides that we need to do are closed right now. Most people will be like, oh, that's good, because it's like now you don't have to go on all the rides. But no, I'm genuinely upset right now.
I wanted to go on every
that by
ride,
the time we get
whether
off
it was
this
open
train,
or not.
Runaway Railway will be open. If that happens, then I'll be in a better mood. Of course, this did not happen. So
yeah, even though we were on the railroad for like 50 minutes, Runaway Railway didn't reopen. Which, by the way, we had a lightning lane for Runaway Railway. It was a lightning lane that we could use at any time because it had broken down earlier when I booked the lightning lane for it. So we basically just got a multi-experience pass for it that we could use at any time. So we were basically just waiting for the right time to go on the ride. But yeah, it was broken down even when we got off at the freaking Toontown railroad station.
Our only choice was to head over to the only ride that was still open that we had left to do. The Mark Twain Riverboat. Okay, well actually, hey, this is perfect. The boat is showing up right now. Now we stand.
But we did get pretty lucky because the boat literally
on this
just
boat
showed
and
up.
we wait and hope that one of the 2 rides reopens. Oh shoot, okay, all right, it's open.
So the fact that Runaway Railway did reopen, like right when we got there, it was a little annoying because I was like, damn, we were just there. We could have just gone on it. But it was good because it meant that like if both Pirates and Runaway Railway had stayed closed, by the time we had gotten off of the Mark Twain Riverboat, the run would have been over, because that's the only 2 rides that we have left are broken down. Like, the run's done. You just have to take the time additions for those 2 rides. So I was at least glad that I was like, okay, thank God the run's not going to end like now.
Well, I guess the run isn't over. The run is not dead.
It's not over. But yeah, we got on the Mark Twain and we literally just sat in these seats at the front of it, and we were just kind of like zombies the whole time, because I was just like, let's just get through this freaking ride. Yeah, it was crazy. And I was really hoping right about now that Pirates was going to reopen, because yeah, Runaway Railway is open, and that's great because we could just go on Runaway Railway after this, but also it's on the other side of the park at this point. Pirates is like right there. It's like right next to where the Mark Twain Riverboat is. I knew that if Pirates could just reopen, then we could get on Pirates and then we could go to Runaway Railway and it would be beautiful, because I also knew that if it did reopen at that point, there would be like no one in line for it. We could just walk on it. So I was like praying.
I'm refreshing the app.
I was refreshing the app.
Pirates is still not
Pirates
open.
is still closed.
It's
I was
not
so
open.
mad.
They're making us walk
because
across
again,
it.
it's Pirates of the Caribbean. That ride never closes down. Like, what the heck is going on? I was so upset.
The entire park to go to Runaway Railway. Like, yeah, I'm tired and I'm ready for this to be done, but I want to do it. I want to complete it all. I won't feel good if it's not all completed.
And that was true. I was genuinely like, if we have to end the run early, that's going to really upset me, because I actually want to do... I wasn't expecting this to happen, too. I was fully expecting to do all 34 rides during the speed run. But, you know, stuff happens.
You know, I really wanted to do every ride. Because if that's the thing, if Pirates is closed when we get off of Runaway Railway, the run's over, because what do we do? This will be our honest reactions to this ride. I haven't even seen a YouTube video of it, so I'm actually really hyped. You know, the good thing about Runaway Railway being the last ride of the speed run...
And yeah, there's the spoiler. It was the last ride of the speed run, because Pirates was still closed when this ride got off of it. But honestly, for content purposes, I'm so glad that this was the last ride. Like, yeah, sure, it would have been cool if Pirates did reopen while we were on Runaway Railway, and we would have made a mad dash to Pirates, and that would have been the last ride of the speed run. But I'm so glad that Runaway Railway was the last one, because it was genuinely like, it was like ending on a high note, like the very definition of ending on a high note, because we actually had a really good time on this ride. And
Is
that's
that
what I
for the
explained in the
last
video.
ride of the day, we actually enjoyed ourselves.
We had a great time
lot.
on this ride.
Dude, what? We're in Frontierland. Going on that ride made me realize that I don't need to do this silly little challenge or prove to myself that I'm a certified Disneyland pro to enjoy Disneyland. Because the reason I love Disneyland so much is the escape from reality that it gives you. We're dancing. And for the first time during the day, that's exactly what I got on Runaway Railway. So by the time we got off, I was actually okay with Pirates still being closed.
Okay, that's not entirely true. I was still pretty upset, but that's okay. For content purposes, I was still a little bit upset because I had pretty high expectations. I really wanted to get through it, but
Guys, I think the run's about to end. Pirates
it was
is not
still
open.
closed. I don't
Is it
know why.
open?
I still like wonder why the hell was Pirates closed. Like, it makes no sense. It's Pirates of the Caribbean. That ride never breaks down. It makes
Is it
no
closed?
sense.
It's still closed.
And I know that it makes no sense because when I was editing this video, I wanted to get a screenshot of the thing where it says Pirates temporarily closed so I could put it up on the video. And so I would like periodically check the app so that I could like grab that screenshot and just put it in the video. And it took a while to even find another time when Pirates was closed because it's never closed. So I was like, damn, this is difficult, like just finding this. In fact, I think I probably photoshopped this image. So like that's
It's about to end. Pirates is not open. Is it open or is it closed? It's still closed. Okay, then I think we're about to end the run right here. This is it, once we exit the building.
And then we end the run.
12 hours, 14 minutes, and 20 seconds. Oh my God, we did it. We actually did it. Every currently
33 out of 33 rides. Now, like, I sound like I'm really upset and really critical of myself with this, and I kind of am. I could have done so much better, I feel like. But genuinely, when you get to the end of a challenge like this, all you're really thinking is like, holy crap, we just did that. Like, it's 7:44 p.m. at this point in the video. We started at 7:30 a.m. We were really just at this for 12 whole hours. And there were multiple times where we were like, man, it would be so nice to just like not be filming this video and not be doing this challenge and like actually be enjoying our time. But I'm so glad that we stuck through it because it just felt so rewarding at the end to like genuinely be done with it, or just to genuinely be like, I don't know, just like we did it. We freaking got through all these rides. Because I didn't know if this was possible. I didn't know if I could do this. I was really trying to prove to myself that I could do it, and this is the moment that I did prove to myself. Because like I think before this, the most rides I had gone on in one day at Disneyland, maybe 20 rides max, but we did 33. We did so many.
operating ride
were
at
just at it all
Disneyland
day.
complete. I am no longer the certified
this little
Disneyland
thing.
pro. I am now the certified Disneyland Speedrun pro with a time of 12 hours, 14 minutes,
Yep.
and 20 seconds.
Oh yeah, and then some dudes. That was so funny because okay, we're literally filming this like out like in front of the Runaway Railway, or like out like to the side of Runaway Railway of where you exit the ride. So there's people like exiting the ride who are just looking at like Jeffrey holding the GoPro up and me just standing here like talking to the camera. Like it was kind of silly. But yeah, there was some dude who was just like, "Are you vlogging? Go viral, bro!" And so I put that in there.
Even though I didn't do this nearly as fast as I had wanted, it's still really accomplishing to say that I did 33 rides in 12 hours. And if you think you can do this faster than me, I challenge you to go to themeparkspeedruns.com if you want to compete.
And hey, that's this website right here. And look, someone actually did beat me here. If we go to the leaderboard right here, Aaron, look at that. He beat me. He got because this is final time is adding on the time additions that you have to take for the rides that were broken down. He beat me by like a good 30 minutes. And it kind of mirrors pretty well with actual time too. Well, I guess not as much, but he did less rides that day. He got what? 31? Yeah. 31 rides. We did 33. But then also we have Coast. Coast did a speed run, and Coast was Coast did, I think, like the less rides out of the three of us, 28. And I'm pretty sure, what was it? It was the one ride that was actually broken down that he couldn't go on was, where was it? It was the railroad. Yeah, it was the railroad. It was just closed the entire day. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. I think I could totally beat this time, the time that Aaron has here. I'm not gonna lie, I think I could totally beat that time. But that's for another video. We've made it to the end of this video. It's been an hour and 45 minutes. That's crazy.
Against my time. I'll even put your
there's
name on the
nothing else that I really
leaderboard.
say
You can
in
also
this
check
video,
out the
other
time
than the
addition
fact
rule.
that we did end up going on Pirates this day. And here I have proof of it.
And
And look,
Jeffrey
yes,
is
I did buy
$100
Jeffrey the
that I
droid. That was
promised
real.
I'd buy him.
Well, actually,
Pirates
I think he bought it. But
actually reopened, so we
got a
win on
droid.
it.
Yeah, Pirates reopened, and then we went on it, and it was pretty awesome. That, like, it was, I think it was really at this point that I genuinely felt, like, complete with everything, because I was, like, I was genuinely kind of upset at the fact that, like, man, I wanted to be able to say that we did go on every ride in one day. But this was that moment when I saw that ride had reopened. I was like, bro, we got Jeffrey, I know you're tired of going on rides today, but we need to do this ride. We just need to do it. And so we did it.
Just so we can definitively
And
say that we
it
went
was
on
great.
all 34 operational rides at Disneyland
34
in
rides
one
we
day.
did it. Even though it technically wasn't a part of the speedrun itself, we still did it. And honestly, big thank you to Jeffrey, because holy crap, I could tell that if I wasn't there, like, really pushing us to be getting on these rides, we probably would have been like, yeah, we should probably stop going on these rides, because this is just torture. But we stuck through it, and just, you know, I couldn't have done it without him. So big thank you to Jeffrey. This video would not be as amazing if it weren't for him filming it. But that also leads us to this part.
Remember, if this video gets 3,000 likes, I'll go speedrun California Adventure. See ya.
So, yeah, the video didn't get 3,000 likes, but the California Adventure Speedrun video is coming out. It comes out April 5th. Be here on this channel to watch it, because oh my god, it's so much better than this video. Even just like watching this video now, I was like, damn, the editing is so much better in the California Adventure one. The speed run is better. We did it so such a better strategy. And when that video does come out, I definitely want to do another live stream like this, where I am explaining the strategy throughout the entire thing. And if you're watching the video that comes out on YouTube of this, this is the end of the video. I'm really glad that you watched this, and I'll probably film a better outro than that. But yeah, that's it. That's really it. For anyone who has done a challenge like this, I would love to like analyze with you. Maybe if you have any other ideas of like maybe like other strategies for Disneyland Speedrun, or just doing every ride at Disneyland. Like what are some ideas that you have that maybe I'm not thinking about when it comes to getting on these rides as fast as possible? But yeah, okay, that's about it. I think we got through the whole video. That's exciting. I'm really glad that I finally did this. I've been wanting to do the stream for like a while. It's just I don't know. I couldn't figure out the right format for it, but I think I figured it out now. I think, yeah, with that, we're going to end the stream now. Awesome stream. Wait, hold up. Sorry, my mouse is messing up. Awesome stream. See ya. See ya, Coast. Really glad you're here for this. And goodbye to everyone. I will see you guys next week on Tuesday for our regularly scheduled Disneyland, or no, sorry, what's it called? Just the Trev Production Live stream, where we talk about Disneyland news and everything. But anyway.